They built empires from their bedrooms, turned followers into fame, and inspired millions with every post. But behind the filters and viral moments, 2025 became the year their screens went dark. In today's video, we look back at the lives of social media influencers who died in 2025 and the untold stories and reasons behind their sudden goodbye. Tijana Radanjic, a vacation that ended in the sky. Tijana Radanjic was just 19, a Serbian fashion and lifestyle influencer with a growing following and a world of possibilities ahead. Known for her elegant photos and adventurous spirit, she was on a relaxing vacation in Budva, Montenegro, when tragedy struck in the most unthinkable way. She had reportedly accepted a free parasailing ride, possibly to film a promotional video for a local tourism company. What was meant to be a joyful memory turned into a nightmare, and it was all caught on camera. As she soared high above the Adriatic Sea, something changed. Video footage shows Tijana visibly distressed, struggling with her life jacket and frantically trying to unbuckle her harness. Witnesses said they heard her scream, "Put me down!" Moments later, she slipped free and fell over 160 feet into the sea. Emergency crews rushed in, but it was too late. Her life was gone in seconds. Her parents, Branka and Goran, shared a heartbreaking tribute. "You will remain in our hearts forever, our bravest. Rest in peace. Now you are one of the angels." Investigations are underway, but one thing is tragically clear. A young life filled with light and promise vanished far too soon, in a moment of panic above the water. Chris O'Donnell, 1993 to 2025. At just 31 years old, Chris O'Donnell, better known to his TikTok followers as Creody, left behind a silence no one saw coming. He wasn't just a fitness influencer, he was a voice. A steady presence who used his own battles to lift others up. With over 840,000 TikTok followers and 28 million likes, Chris spoke openly about mental health, sobriety, and personal growth. He had been sober since 2018 and often encouraged others to find healing. But behind that calm voice was a quiet storm. On January 11th, 2025, Chris was found dead in Arizona. The official report listed a self-inflicted gunshot wound, a devastating ending to a man who once seemed like the strong one. Weeks before his passing, Chris shared a haunting caption on Instagram. "I wonder when I leave this earth, if you'd remember my face." That reel now stands as a farewell. Scenes from hiking trails and desert skies where he once found peace. His final TikTok, a heartfelt speech at his brother's wedding, filled with love, reflection, and pride. Chris O'Donnell didn't just post videos, he left behind echoes of hope, pain, and a life lived with purpose, and now those echoes remain. Ephacan Kulchair, the price of going viral. Ephacan Kulchair was just 24. But his face had already become familiar to millions across Turkey and beyond. Known for his mukbang videos, where he filmed himself eating massive portions of food while talking to fans, Ephacan's content seemed lighthearted on the surface. But behind the screen, a quiet struggle was unfolding. Over time, the food challenges that brought him fame also began to take a toll on his health. In late 2023, his condition worsened. He developed severe breathing issues and mobility problems, eventually being hospitalized for 3 long months. Even during his decline, he tried to stay connected with his audience, sharing brief updates, one of them revealing he had started dieting and avoiding extra salt. But the damage had already gone too far. Ephacan's health complications, brought on by extreme weight gain, forced him to stop filming. He was bedridden, receiving constant care. In early 2024, he was moved back home to continue treatment. There, on March 7th, his journey ended. He never got the chance to visit his mother's grave one last time. His death serves as a sobering reminder that the pursuit of viral fame can sometimes come at the cost of one's own well-being, especially when pain hides behind a smile. Hannah Moody, lost in the heat of solitude. Hannah Moody was a name known in the hiking community, a spirited 31-year-old from the U.S., who turned her love for the outdoors into a source of inspiration for over 45,000 followers on Instagram. Her feed was filled with serene mountain views, glowing sunrises, and quiet trails. But on May 21st, 2024, the trail she walked alone in Scottsdale, Arizona, turned tragically silent. That day, temperatures soared beyond 100 degrees. Hannah, who had planned to meet friends for lunch after a routine hike, never showed up. Alarmed, they reported her missing. A day later, on May 22nd, her body was found roughly 600 yards off the designated trail near the Gateway Trailhead of the McDowell Sonoran Preserve. There were no signs of foul play. Her mother, Terry Moody, believes it was the heat, brutal and unforgiving, that stole her daughter. Dehydration, heat stroke, and exhaustion are suspected causes, though the final determination remains pending. Terry's grief is raw. It's numbing. she said. I feel like it's not real. Now, on what would have been her 32nd birthday, the community plans a memorial hike, not just to remember Hannah, but to remind others. Nature is beautiful, but it demands respect. Never hike alone. Denise Reyes, 27, Mexico, the price of beauty. Denise Reyes was a 27-year-old TikTok star from Mexico who built a name through social media and online sales. On January 26, 2025, she underwent a liposuction procedure at the San Pablo Medical Clinic in Chiapas, a clinic that was reportedly unlicensed. Before the surgery, Dr. Orlando Gamboa administered an intravenous medication that caused an unexpected reaction. Denise began feeling unwell and suffered cardiac arrest. She was rushed to Mansour Hospital because the clinic lacked an intensive care unit. Despite efforts to save her, Denise died just days later. She had no pre-existing health conditions. Her family says she was in good health before the procedure. Her uncle, Amal Rodriguez, has called for justice and plans to take legal action against the doctor. Denise leaves behind an 8-year-old son. Her sudden death has raised serious concerns about the dangers of undergoing cosmetic surgeries at unauthorized clinics and the risks influencers take to maintain their public image. Valyriia Marquez, 23, Mexico, a live stream that turned into a nightmare. Valyriia Marquez was just 23, a rising beauty influencer, model, and salon owner in Guadalajara, Mexico. She had a vibrant presence online, known for her makeup tutorials, lifestyle content, and glamorous photos on private jets and yachts. With over 100,000 TikTok followers and 70,000 more on Instagram, she was building a personal brand that inspired thousands. In 2021, she won the local Miss Rostro pageant, which opened doors in modeling. By 2024, she had opened her own salon, Blossom the Beauty Lounge, and often streamed live from there, connecting with fans in real time. But on one ordinary afternoon in 2025, during a TikTok live stream from her salon, something went horribly wrong. Valyriia mentioned she was expecting a delivery sent by a friend, but felt uneasy. She told viewers that the courier's face hadn't been visible and questioned, "Were they going to pick me up or what?" While holding a pink stuffed pig, Valyriia looked off screen. A man's voice asked, "Hi, are you Valyriia?" She answered, "Yes," then muted her mic. Moments later, she clutched her chest and collapsed in her chair. Another woman appeared briefly and ended the live stream. Authorities later confirmed 2 men on motorcycles had arrived at the salon. One asked her name, then opened fire before escaping. The case is now under investigation as part of ongoing femicide protocols in Jalisco. Valyria's sudden and public end has shaken the online beauty community and raised serious questions about influencer safety in the real world. Maria Jose Estupin, the girl who opened the door and never came back. On May 15, 2025, a peaceful afternoon in Cucuta turned into a national tragedy. Maria Jose Estupin, a 22-year-old fashion influencer and university student, opened the door to what looked like a delivery. Moments later, her life was cut short. Surveillance footage captured the man fleeing, and soon after, her story made headlines across Colombia. Maria Jose had done everything right. She was brave enough to speak up, reporting her former partner for repeated violence. She even won a court case just one day before the incident. The judge ordered compensation in her favor, but instead of protection, silence greeted her cries for help. Activists say this wasn't just one isolated case. It was a mirror held up to Colombia's broken system. Despite laws, shelters, and promises, women like Maria Jose are left alone to face their worst fears. Her name now joins a growing list of voices lost in a country where every 28 hours, another woman vanishes under similar circumstances. At her funeral, her family said, "Fly high, Majo." But for thousands of women still waiting for justice, Maria Jose's story is not just one of loss. It's a warning. She knocked on every legal door. In the end, the only door that opened led to silence. Taylor Rouso Grigg, the TikTok star who fought to live. At just 25 years old, Taylor Rouso Grigg had built a life that many admired. A loving wife, a content creator with over 1 million followers, and a woman of deep faith, she shared her everyday joys, her marriage, her dog, and her countryside lifestyle with warmth and authenticity. But behind the camera, Taylor was quietly enduring a fight for her life, one her followers only began to understand after she opened up about her health in 2024. Not long after her wedding in August 2023, Taylor fell ill. She didn't know why at first. Her once athletic body was now struggling to even carry a suitcase or walk to the mailbox. In August 2024, she revealed to her fans that she had finally received a diagnosis, though she chose not to share the specifics. All she said was that it was a lifelong condition and that she had to fight for life, to live, to be here. Among the issues she was dealing with were complications related to asthma and Addison's disease. Her words were heartbreaking, raw, and real. "I'm 24 years old. I should be in my prime," she said in one of her last videos. But her body was failing her, and the simplest tasks became impossible. On October 5th, 2024, Taylor's husband, Cameron Grigg, announced her sudden and unexpected passing. Her final act of generosity was organ donation. Her body kept on machines so that parts of her could save children in need. It was a gesture that captured her essence, selfless, strong, and deeply caring. While no official cause of death was released, Cameron shared that Taylor had been in and out of the hospital since their wedding, enduring more pain than most face in a lifetime. And yet, she continued to be a light to those around her. In the end, Taylor didn't just share content, she shared her truth, her struggles, and her soul. And even in death, she continues to help others. Alicia Bernie, the comedy queen, silenced too soon. Alicia Bernie lit up millions of screens with her humor. But behind that laughter was a young woman full of dreams, ambition, and heart. Just one day before her 25th birthday, Alicia's life came to a quiet and tragic end. She passed away in her sleep on March 2nd, 2024, during a vacation in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. The news sent shockwaves through the internet, leaving fans devastated and confused. At first, the cause of her death wasn't made public, but her brother Charles later shared that she had suffered an asthma attack while sleeping. She never woke up. Her passing was peaceful, but completely unexpected. Alicia wasn't just a viral sensation. She was a pioneer in comedy skits on TikTok and YouTube, with iconic series like Online Classes Be Like and Podcasts Be Like. She started her journey back in 2013 and built a following of over 5 million across social platforms. But beyond the fame, she had even bigger goals. Alicia wanted to return home to Kansas City, start her own production studio, and mentor young creatives. Her family, especially her brother, has had to not only grieve but also battle cruel rumors online. Charles asked the public for respect and truth. She was happy, full of life, and had big plans, he said. Though her voice has gone quiet, Alicia's creative spirit lives on in every laugh she sparked, every young creator she continues to inspire.